Pakinggan niyo sinabi ni William Barclay regarding the dangers they face. Sabi niya, the time of youth is necessarily a time of danger. One, he says, in youth, the blood runs hotter and the passions speak more commandingly. Ang tawag niyan sa Tagalog, mapusok. No, pagka ikaw ay mas bata pa, parang hot na hot ka pa, na gawin kung ano-anong mga bagay. Now, of course, I'm not saying that old men don't struggle sexually. For example, you have what you call dirty old men. But as the years go by, habang tumatanda sila, mas nagle-lessen yung kanilang passions compared to young people who are very passionate and who are really struggling in the area of lust. At ito yung sinasabi rito, the youth, their blood runs hotter and passions speak more commandingly. Another thing that William Barclay says is this, in youth there are more opportunities for going wrong. Young people are thrown into company where temptation can speak with the most compelling voice. Often they have to study or to work away from home and from the influences which would keep them right. He has not yet taken upon himself the responsibility of a home and a family. He does not yet possess the anchors which hold an older person in the right way. So, etong sinasabi rito, no, mas marami silang dangers na hinaharap. Kasi, syempre, pagka ikaw ay young person, katulad nun, pag ikaw ay pumasok sa kolehiyo, normally, ang nangyari, for example, sa mga kabataan dito sa Davao City, dito sa ating congregation, pag gusto nila yung anak nila to have better education, they're thinking of dalhin sa Cebu, dalhin sa Manila, dalhin sa abroad, doon na lang sila mag-aral. But that exposes our children to greater danger. Why? Because the parents are not there. The church is not there. The ministry leader is not there. The cell servant is not there. The discipler is not there to monitor. They're exposed to all sorts of philosophies. They're exposed to all sorts of people. They're exposed to all sorts of lies and falsehood. And there's greater challenges and greater dangers that they face. Third thing that William Barclay says is this, in youth there is often that confidence which comes from lack of experience. In almost every sphere of life, a younger person will be more reckless than his elders, for the simple reason that he has not yet discovered all the things which can go wrong. To take a simple example, he will often drive a car much faster simply because he has not yet discovered how easily an accident can take place. That's true. Nung mabata-bata pa ako, I had my first car and I tried this other car. Doon ako na-disgrasya. Bakit? Because I was like a James Bond. Sabi ko, kayang-kaya nito. Bago itong sasakyan ko. O mabilis. O di na-disgrasya ako. Buti na lang hindi ako namatay. And now, when I'm in my 40s, now that I'm 48, I am more careful when driving. Now, my wife is complaining, Pa, bakit ang bagal-bagal mo? Kaya ako, sakay ako dito sa bagong ordinance ng city, 40 kilometers per hour. Parang I feel very comfortable with that speed. You see, you're not reckless anymore. I'm not reckless anymore. Every time I reach a corner, talagang stop muna. Parang tatawid na naglalakad. Tingin muna ng kaliwa, tingin muna ng kanan, bago dumiretso. You've had that experience. Na-disgrasya ka na eh. Parang feeling mo, madidisgrasya ka uli. Parang yung pagka ganun na kalapit ka sa kamatayan in the past, it changes your outlook altogether. Hindi ka na naiinggit doon sa mga taong overtake ng overtake. No, pag umovertake, pagka hindi ka pa na-disgrasya, parang yabang nito uunahan ko nga ito. Ngayon, hindi na. Mauna na kayo. Sige, okay lang ako dito. Masaya na ako rito. Ayoko na mabangga uli. Ayoko na madisgrasya uli. You see, that's what happens. Now, listen to John MacArthur. Pakinggan nyo. Ang ganda rin ng kanya sinabi rito. He says, I thought about the dangers that come to young men and I thought I might share some of them with you. First of all, there is danger of laziness. Yun daw ang isang danger na hinaharap ng mga young people. Laziness. You might call it indulgence. And this is usually programmed. But it's also innate in fallenness. Man, generally speaking, is lazy. He needs some controls and some strong motivations to work. But generally, Laziness can be exacerbated in the home when men are young. Now listen to his example. Lazy men are usually produced also in homes where they were never taught hard work. Homes where they were indulged and had plenty of money and plenty of goods. Lazy men are produced in homes where parents are absent, where there is no father. Lazy men are produced in homes where there is no particular concern about watching over them, and they are left to themselves without caring, without discipline, without work. And left to do what they please, young men will choose to do nothing beneficial. They become victims of their own program, lethargy. It's a dangerous time to be young if you don't learn discipline, if you don't learn work, if you don't learn diligence. Secondly, another danger of youth is freedom. Freedom. Turning young people loose from family confines, the family accountability, the family scrutiny, too soon, too fast, too far. They get a car and they have total freedom. They're out from under the strong influence. They're out from under restraint. They're out from under consequences of their behavior. They're out from under instruction. They're out from under discipline. They're out from under fatherly control. And when they begin to do what they please in their freedom, they usually please to do what is not honoring to God or productive. Yung mag-ingat. Batang-bata pa, pinakakawalan na kaagad. Batang-bata pa, hinahayaan lang kung sino naman barkada without monitoring. Batang-bata pa, hayaan na lang na gumamit ng internet without monitoring. Masyadong delikado. Freedom, the danger of freedom. Third, the danger in a decadent culture. The danger in a decadent culture. Young men being raised in a decadent culture are accustomed to vice. Listen carefully, MacArthur says, familiarity with vice does not produce disgust. It produces attachment. Parang sinasabi ito, huwag mo isipin na, sige, amo lang yung bata yan para makatikim yan na sigarilyo. Magsasawa din yan. Yan ang sinasabi niya. Attachment to vice does not produce disgust. Pag pinayagan mong magsigarilyo, pag pinayagan mo yung batang yan magiinom, imbis na magsawa yan, imbis na magalit yan, magiging bondage niya yon. Mas mahihirapan siyang iwasan yon. Fourthly, another danger that comes to young men is godless education. Godless education. They are exposed in their education to attacks on God, attacks on Christ, both overt and covert. They are exposed to attacks on the Bible. Christianity is either ignored, laughed at, jeered at, or not considered at all as intellectual. They go through a process of education that basically leaves God out or defines Him in human terms, and it's powerful stuff because mentors and teachers are professors, and professors carry authority with them. It's a dangerous time as the foundation of life and the belief in God, which is so innate to the human heart, and the reasonings as indicated in Romans 1 are attacked and devastated and shattered in the educational process, and men lose their sense of reality about God. One more. Fifth, sabi niya, the danger of overall immaturity. Ang ganda nito sinabi niya rito. Immaturity has its own problems. Somebody said it's too bad youth has to be wasted on the young, but that's how it is. For example, temptation is strongest in youth. Lusts are most compelling at that time. Habits are formed that rarely can be killed even in old age. And then he gives his testimony. Sabi niya, I have stood by the bed of dying men who have confessed to me with tears that they have never been able to overcome the habits of pornography that they began when they were youth. No, ito yung delikado eh. Yung overall maturity ng bata na yun, it produces bondages na kahit matanda ka na, mahirap i-give up. Youth is a time that presents more opportunity for sin, more frequent opportunity for sin. Youth is a time when ambition is strong, when pride is controlling. Youth is a time of unwarranted confidence. Confidence you don't deserve because it's never been tested. It's a time of imagined invincibility. It's a time of lacking of experience, and experience mellows and softens and brings reality. It's a dangerous, dangerous time. And the future of the church is yet dependent on young men growing up in such dangerous times. Yan yung danger na hinaharap ng mga young people. Unique circumstances. Yung isang lalaki, isang matanda na may sarili niyang pamilya, iba na yung iniisip niya, hindi siya exposed madalas sa ganitong klaseng mga dinadaanan ng mga young people. I was browsing the internet yesterday, and I just wanted to look at some insights coming from the older people. Ano kaya ang pananaw ng mga matatanda sa mga bata? And it's very interesting. I came across this website. I forgot the name of the website, but the picture, it's a picture of an old man with glasses sitting on a cushioned sofa, that's parang it really looks old. And he just expresses his complaints regarding young people today. Listen what he says. Now, there are terms, much of the things that he said sound vulgar, talagang may mga bad words, etc. Hindi ko na isasama yung mga bad words na sinabi niya, pero pakinggan nyo yung kanyang reklamo patungkol sa mga young people today. Sabi niya, the problem with young people today is that they have tattoos. When I was a boy, the only people with tattoos were convicts, sailors, and circus freaks. And that made sense. It was a warning to keep your distance if you knew what was good for you. Ngayon, pagka nanood ka ng basketball ng PBA, kita mo ang daming tato ng ibang mga players. Kala nila maganda, okay ngayon, they're in their 20s, wait until they're in their 60s. And then maliligo sila na puro tato yung katawan na hindi mo matanggal. Ano kaya ang pananaw ng ibang mga tao patungkol doon? The problem with young people today, he says, is that they don't know how to drive. Young people today, they drive like drunken fruit bats, speeding down the road while talking on the phone, sending text messages. It's disgraceful, vain, and dangerous. The problem with young people today is that they have crazy haircuts. They all want to express themselves with their weirdo hairdos. They walk around with their spiky bangs, cornrows, streaky uplifts, mohawks, faux hawks, and wigged out sideburns. It's a carnival freak show, but without the popcorn. The problem with young people today is that they play video games. The problem with young people today is that they all watch pornography. When I was a lad, the only pornography we had were naughty playing cards and photos of exotic Africans in the National Geographic. And both were hard to come by. But these young people today, they're watching pornography night and day. The problem with young people today is that they want immediate gratification. The problem with young people today is that they think they know everything. When I was a lad, young people were ignorant and we were smart enough to know it. We understood that wisdom came with experience, maturity, and age. No wonder the Apostle Paul said, young men, this is what you need, self-control. Kasi kung titingnan nga natin lahat yung pagsasama-samahin, yan ang problema nitong mga young people na ito. They have no self-control. Self-control is the same word that's used here in Titus chapter 1 verse 8. Titus chapter 2 verse 2 and verse 5. It's the word used for elders. Elders should be self-controlled. It's a word used for old men. They should be self-controlled. It's a word used for young women. They should be self-controlled. But you know what's striking to me is it's used for elders and it's used for older men. They must be self-controlled. Young men should be self-controlled katulad ng elders at katulad ng older men. In other words, kahit na ikaw ay bata pa, pilitin mo na yung isipan mo